Today, in this YouTube channel, Rise and Wise, we are going to see about the pharynx, that is part 2 video. So we can get started. First, I will start with the important part of the pharynx called Piriform fossa. In my pharynx part 1 video, I have already discussed about the subdivisions of pharynx. So please don't forget to check on that. And now we are going to see about the piriform fossa first. Piriform fossa is actually a deep recess on either side of the laryngeal inlet, and it is also present in the anterior part of the lateral wall of the laryngopharynx. It is broader above, as you can see here, it is broader above. So this is the piriform fossa. This too, it is broader above, and while you come below it is quite narrower. So it is in a piriform shape, so that it is called as piriform fossa. Now we are going to see about the boundaries of this piriform fossa. So what is the boundary of the piriform fossa? It is having medial boundary, lateral boundary, and the above boundary. So medial boundary, it is formed by the aryepiglottic fold. As you can see, this is the aryepiglottic fold here. So medial to it lies the aryepiglottic fold and the quadrangular membrane of the larynx. So this is the quadrangular membrane of the larynx. So medial to it you can see the aryepiglottic fold and the quadrangular membrane of the larynx. So next boundary is a lateral boundary. So lateral boundary is actually formed by the mucous membrane covering the medial surface of the lamina of the thyroid cartilage. So medial surface of the lamina of the thyroid, this is the medial surface of the lamina thyroid cartilage and the thyroid membrane. So this is forming the lateral boundary of the piriform fossa. So as you can see, this is a piriform fossa and it is forming the thyroid membrane, and lamina of the thyroid cartilage is forming the lateral wall. Next is the above boundary. So piriform fossa is actually separated from the above surface by epiglottic valleculae. So epiglottic valleculae is something which I have discussed before in my video. So epiglottic valleculae is nothing but, so here lies the epiglottic valleculae. Here this part is where epiglottic valleculae is present. So it is separated from the epiglottic valleculae by lateral fold of the glossoepiglottic fold. So lateral glossoepiglottic fold. So it is separated from the epiglottic valleculae. This piriform fossa above, it is separated by the epiglottic valleculae by the lateral glossoepiglottic fold. This is a glossoepiglottic fold. Now let us see about the pharyngeal wall. So pharyngeal wall is actually having 4 layers. The 4 layers of the pharyngeal, there are 4 layers in the pharyngeal wall. So 4 layers from above, from inner to outside. So inside the throat, this will be the first layer. This will be the innermost layer, and below that you can see the fascia, that is called as pharyngobasilar fascia, and below that you can see the muscles of the pharyngeal pharynx in total, and the outermost will be the buccopharyngeal fascia. So this is the inner side, this is the outer side. Okay, so this is the from inside to outside: mucous membrane, pharyngobasilar fascia, the muscular layer, and the buccopharyngeal fascia. So we'll study about these layers in detail. So first, the mucous membrane, that is the mucous coat, is actually elastic tissue. It is formed by the elastic tissue. It is completely formed by the elastic tissue, and it is continuous with the mucous lining of the eustachian tube, nasal cavity, larynx, esophagus, mouth, etc. So it is a continuation of these mucous membrane layers, and it is also lined by an epithelium called non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Unlike in nasopharynx, I have already said this in my part 1 video, that is, nasopharynx is covered by pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, but this particular part is actually covered by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Next is the next layer. The next layer is actually the pharyngobasilar layer. So pharyngobasilar layer is actually wider and thicker in the upper surface, but when you come below, it's quite thin and become indistinct. And this pharyngobasilar layer, just simply it covers the space between the base of the skull till the upper end of the superior constrictor muscle. So this completely, it is said that it is covered by this pharyngobasilar fascia. So this is about a pharyngobasilar fascia. Now we'll be studying about the next part, that is a muscular coat. The muscular coat is simply, it is a random displacement, random placement of the muscles. So you can see two kind of muscles, the outer muscles and inner muscles. So outer muscles are actually circular and inner muscles are longitudinal muscles. So these outer muscles are actually called as constrictor muscles. Constrictor muscles, because they are circular, they can constrict. Constrictor muscles, and the inner layer is, as they are long in size and shape, they are called as longitudinal muscle. So this is about the muscular layer. So we'll be studying about the pharyngeal muscles later, and there is an innermost fascia called buccopharyngeal fascia. From the name itself, you can easily study this fascia. It is actually covering the pharyngeal muscles and the buccinator muscles, so that it is called as buccopharyngeal fascia. So this is simply about the layers of the pharynx, so the pharyngeal wall layers. And main important clinical correlation of this is of this pharynx with the clinical correlation. If you're correlating it clinically, the very important thing is that Waldeyer's ring. Waldeyer's ring. You can see the spelling here. Waldeyer's ring. So what is Waldeyer's ring? Waldeyer's ring is the ring-like aggregation of the lymphoidal tissue in the innermost layer of the pharyngeal wall. So these lymphoidal tissues are aggregated circular in way inside the inner wall of the pharynx. So that's only Waldeyer's ring. So Waldeyer's ring boundaries are anteriorly, this is anteriorly, you can find this lingual tonsil, posterior superiorly you can find pharyngeal tonsil, and laterally you can find tubal tonsils and palatine tonsils. So this is very simple, and this Waldeyer's ring is very important because pharynx is a common compartment for both air and food. So all the microorganisms that are entering this part is invaded by this particular ring called Waldeyer ring. So it is very important clinically. So that's all for this video, guys. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe this video. For more videos, please hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any video of this channel Rise and Wise again. See you guys in another video of pharynx. Bye guys.